Okay, welcome to briefing August 28th, 2018. It's not Groundhog Day, it just seems like it, okay? So, we're going to go over the objectives. We had several new resources check in yesterday. We're getting a new strike team in, I do believe. So, provide for the safety of firefighters, responders, and the general public by identifying and mitigating hazards through accepted practices and operating guidelines. Protect life and property by prepositioning resources and utilizing local resources in a direct attack through safe firefighting tactics, keeping losses of property as minimal as possible. Assure that the strategies and tactics are based on current and predicted weather, fire behavior, and any hazards are clearly communicated throughout the incident. Establish unified command with local, state, private, and federal cooperators whenever possible, and conduct all operations in a safe, cost-effective manner while promoting mutual respect in an atmosphere free of discriminating, harassing remarks and/or behavior. With that, we'll turn it over to Tom Bird.
Good morning, Tom Bird, incident meteorologist. We'll start out like we do every day with satellite, and Vern stole my thunder. He said it's not Groundhog Day, and I was going to say it is Groundhog Day. Well, it's very much like it anyway. If you've seen the movie, every day is really similar to the day before it, and that's the theme for today. We look at this morning, just like yesterday, we have a lot of clear skies through the central part of Texas, but we have these showers coming in off the Gulf along the upper Texas coast, and then out to the west we have debris clouds from overnight and last evening's storm activity. And just like yesterday, that high pressure is shifted well off to the east, and that ridge extends back over the state, keeping the interior part of the state dry. This is what radar looks like this morning. There's nothing anywhere else in the state of Texas as far as showers or thunderstorms, but we do have these showers moving in off the Gulf, focused, Houston, Victoria, and back off towards Beaumont, just in the far southeastern portion of the state in the upper Texas coast. Now we're taking a look back at the last 24 hours. Here is the precipitation that we saw across the state, and just like the models predicted, you had these showers moving in off the coast down here in the south central and southeast branches, and then out west you had the monsoon storms streaming across the Trans-Pecos, the Davis Mountains, and up through parts of the Panhandle. There was some significant rainfalls. There was a few spots out here, Zavala, Beaumont, a couple places got over an inch, but they were just little spotty amounts. Most of that area didn't get more than a quarter. Same thing out west. There was over an inch in a storm north of Odessa. There was a quarter to half an inch in the rainfall that fell over the Davis Mountains. So most of these storms were wet, not a lot of dry lightning with them. This is now looking at 14 days. I've switched from a 7-day chart to a 14-day chart because that seems to be the trigger for when the fine fuels start to dry out again once they get a rain. So this shows the rainfall for the last 14 days, showing just how dry it's been south going up into the east part of the state. And then this is the deficit, or the percent of normal for precipitation, showing again the parts of the state are the driest. And here's our highlights for today and going forward. That upper high, as I just showed you on that satellite picture, shifted well off over to the east coast, but a ridge extends from that over the state, so that's still a feature that is influencing our weather. We'll continue with those showers over the southeastern portion of the state. They're ongoing now. We'll just continue to see those through the daytime hours and then diminish in the late afternoon, evening hours. The disturbance is moving in, again, like yesterday, over the Panhandle area. It'll be followed by a little weak cold front tonight, and that'll help produce some showers and thunderstorms up in the Panhandle. We still have the monsoonal flow pattern over the far west to give storms there, and the interior will be mostly dry as we've been seeing. Still hot. The RH is starting to creep up a bit with that increased Gulf moisture now that the high pressure has moved off. And we'll still see some breezes, not excessive breezes, but there'll still be somewhat breezy conditions through central and north Texas. And then looking forward, that ridge is a permanent feature right now, and it just, although it ebbs and flows and moves and shifts, it still is the main dominator of our weather and will keep us primarily dry for the most part through the interior part of the state. So I showed this yesterday. This is what the weather chart looks like this afternoon, and annotated just like yesterday, the high is off to the east. That helps us to bring in the additional Gulf moisture for the southeastern part of the states where we're seeing showers now and will continue today. And then you can see there's that wave coming across the panhandle later today. That'll help to generate thunderstorms out west. And then later in the evening, there's a little weak front going to push in from the north. It's not a real significant boundary, but it will be a focus for more storms overnight, I think, up that way. And then the interior will stay dry. So here's our temperatures today. You see, again, we see triple-digit temperatures, so another warm day across the state. The heat indices will be high again off of the escarpment as you get down in the coastal plains where you have that better humidity and those 100-degree temperatures. There's your relative humidity. Again, that 30-degree demarcation line continues to creep westward as we get more Gulf moisture moving off the state, off the Gulf. And here's your winds. And just like we've been seeing, your band of better winds are from North Texas down through west and central into southern Texas, lighter as you go east. They're not excessively strong, but there is that potential there that if you have starts in this area, they will be driven by wind. Here's the areas where we expect to see showers and thunderstorms, no change from yesterday. And there's what the model thinks the rainfall or the radar will look like this afternoon and this evening. There'll be more activity here, I believe, than what this is indicating, and there'll probably be more storms out west over the Davis Mountains and the Trans-Pecos than what you see here, but this here looks pretty good as far as what I'm thinking we'll see. And there's the model and what it thinks the rainfall pattern will look like during the course of the next 24 hours. And last frame, going forward 7 days from today, this is what we think the rainfall will look like across the state. Continue mostly dry through the interior. The better rain chances will continue to come in off the Gulf over the southeast portion of the state. And this will actually be the next day or two, and then it'll start drying out a bit as we get north and west through the state. So that covers the weather, and we'll move on to operations.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Rich Gray, Operations. Yesterday was a fairly light day across the state. Had 2 new IA starts over in the East Branch. Those were wrapped up. The one fire we did have, the Loma Dura fire in Uvalde County, is wrapped up at 5 acres, 100%, and no staffing today. A couple of topics. Pay attention to your IAP. If there's any corrections in that, if you guys would please call into the ops desk, we'll get those corrected. Also, crew swaps today and tomorrow, so those folks coming in here will get a good in-brief. Once they get down to those staging areas, make sure they get a good local in-brief on fuels, weather, and any local hazards, so make sure we're doing that. Also note in the 220 that we will only have 1 air attack available today and tomorrow. That'll be based out of Fredericksburg, and then on Thursday we'll have the air attack back up again at over east, probably at LaGrange or Brenham Airport. Listen to the weather today, so a little bit of breezy today, got continued dry groundhog days, so you guys still stay vigilant and keep good SA on potential for IAs today, and be prepared to move long distances if we get those starts. Y'all have a safe day. Thanks.
Morning, John McGee, Safety. Safety had another good day yesterday. Absolutely no accidents, injuries, or illnesses, major, significant, or minor. So, kudos to everyone. Keep paying attention to detail, and you should be okay. We heard from the weather, again, hot, dry. So again, maintain your hydration, keep an eye on your crewmates. They start going into distress, take action. Well, it's going to be another day for most of you folks out in the field waiting. And as you know, you can get bored, you get complacent, and you sometimes do stupid things. So, it's going to take some mental discipline for you to pay attention to what you're doing, okay? Probably the biggest source for any accidents or injuries is going to be driving to and from lunch, back to the motel, or running errands or what have you. And as we all know, driving is probably the single greatest source of most serious injuries, accidents, and fatalities for firefighters, okay? So again, pay attention to detail, keep your eye on the ball, and keep an eye on each other, and we'll all be back again tomorrow. Have a good day.
Good morning, Beth Plummer, Finance Section Chief. We will have some new faces coming into finance starting today. Everyone continues to do a great job. So with your crew time reports and equipment shift tickets, please just continue to pay attention to them and email them to the ICP Finance email. Check the IAP for the demob list, and if you know that you're going to be demobbing soon and you have an opportunity to go through your paperwork and check it before you come into finance, that will help expedite the process. And the finance email and finance phone number, especially the finance phone number, is in your IAP. So if you have anything, give us a call. We're here to help and make good decisions. Have a safe day. Thanks.
All right, good morning. Don Galloway, IC. I keep looking at the weather maps every morning, and the phrase that keeps